Well, did you get a chance to look into resumes? Yeah, and yes, you might have got some idea about how people are keeping their responsibilities and all, isn't it? Well, let's go through one of the resume how they have placed. Okay, this is one of the resume who used to work in Oracle Corp. Now this lady in IBM, right? So, I mean, this and all, anyway, this, career objective, what and all you'll be keeping. Okay, so here, implementation of corporate level information. We can find something from the Google, like the best career objective, what we can keep. And in between, you just you need to change the technology. That's all. Okay, so here is the trained professional of Oracle applications DBA profile with the key competencies in database administration, architecture, data analysis, administration support roles, something like that. Okay, so currently associated with Oracle application as a senior technical analyst and Oracle on-demand team. Okay, and a quick learner and this and all, it's your wish, like whatever you wanted to keep you can keep. Okay, so professional summary anyway, this is fine, and educational summary, this is fine, and technical summary when it comes. Okay, this is the major thing we need to keep it here. So it's all, I mean, normally I prefer to keep technical summary as well. Usually the same thing you would be keeping in the project summary also. So like if you keep the project summary here, application activities and all, you would be keeping along with that. If you people won't have such a patience. If you can keep it as a technical summary, and that would give the more clarity to the people who are quickly reviewing the resume. So on the ERP side, all the ERP responsibilities and the database responsibilities. So you have to keep. I mean, it's not like I'm an apps DB. I will be keeping only apps related activities or apps roles and all. So people will be thinking, like these days particularly, people are assuming that if you are an Oracle applications DBA, you are a Superman. It is something like they are expecting your the database capabilities, and if you have a rack, I mean, it's an added advantage. If you have a disaster recovery, I mean, data guard is an added advantage. If you have OGG, that's an added advantage. And if you, I mean, WebLogic, they may, I mean, that's another added advantage. If you keep WebLogic, that's an added advantage. So something like, along with this, so people will be assuming like you were a core DBA initially, and then you upgraded yourself to the application. So they would keep more focus on core and apps both. Okay. So for example, in my company, I mean, I'm an apps DBA. So now the benefit, I mean, the advantage for them is, wherever there is an opportunity, they are using me. Okay, it is something like, I'm an apps DBA. Okay, I mean, when I was in UK, I worked as an apps. Completely, I'm into apps. I didn't know, apart from Oracle applications, I never see any other application when I was in UK. But after coming back, they kept me in Pega. Okay, it's a Pega system, Pega application. Okay, in that Pega, the database administration part I'm taking. So it's a completely different. So I'm not exactly doing what actual database administrator is used to do. Okay, the different thing like performance related stuff, and Pega will be giving, Pega team will be giving some of the for some of the database files like SQL files and changing those SQL files to my environment, and they would be giving as a generic environment scripts they would be giving, and I mean editing those PLSQL related stuff. And now I'm doing PLSQL as well. Okay, shell programming I'm doing, PLSQL I'm doing, database related, like in the database related activities, I'm making automating the database activities. Okay, so and apart from that, added the Golden Gate also I have started implementing. So it is something like, if you are an apps DBA, nowadays expectations are a bit more. Okay, so when you got time, try to at least, don't need to be perfect on this. Try to at least get some concepts of Golden Gate and shell programming and this related this stuff. Okay, so if you see here, ERP installation, anyway, patching in a multiple testing and development environment, production environment, having multiple application tiers. Okay, it's a simply patching, and you can specifically mention, like at that time, I mean, the online patching is not there, ADOP is not there. You can specify patching 12.1 and comma patching 12.2 in bracket ADOP. You can specifically mention that ADOP. I am comfortable with the ADOP. Okay. So installing the servers type of patches, AD patching. Types of patches. It's something. Maintain the application AD utilities. Okay. Replicating, fine tuning backend application data. Like verifying the other day we have discussed it, right, related to the concurrent manager tuning and normally database monitoring, that part and all you can tell. So cloning the application. Next, refreshing only database. Okay, so it is something like, instead of doing the complete clone, only database, taking the backup of database, restoring the backup of database, running CFG clone on only database side, and then executing auto config on all the nodes. Okay, that part is nothing but refreshing. So monitoring the application by using OAM. Okay, so just they put like that, and normally you won't be. People will be using some of the companies I see, instead of OAM they are configuring OEM. Okay, so they're buying separately for Oracle applications. Also, there are some components for OEM. So they are buying that, they are configuring that, and OEM is taking care of the complete monitoring stuff, right from the alert log file to the concurrent manager monitoring. Everything they it is taking. Okay, so if you have a minimum knowledge of this, you can keep OEM also there. Troubleshooting, bug fixes, and all, and managing the application server 10 GAS. And it is something like now you can keep it as a WebLogic server. Okay, so Tangi is a pretty old one. Okay, so next, good at managing the concurrent request programming. So it is something like concurrent manager. Okay, so resolving issues, it's related to the concurrent manager. Again, managing, validating applications and database using the DAAG tools. Okay, so there are some DAAG. I mean, it's a kind of enabling the debug mode, fetching the logs, disabling the debug mode, sharing those logs to the Oracle people. Okay, so enabling the trace for any of the concurrent program. Okay, and TK profiles, changing the trace files to the normal mode, and sharing to the, either you will be reviewing or you will share Oracle to the review, or enable the trace for a particular user. Okay, so fetch that information and share it to the concerned people. Okay, so something like, the debugging, like if you are really wants to do the more analysis, definitely will be the application side you can do, database side you can do. Okay, so in the database side, anyway, these and all, the n number of database installations and the managing multiple databases and the different applications integrated with the different applications and taking care of them, something like how I'm doing for Pega. Okay, and Pega and Golden Gate. So rebuilding the indexes and something like, and if you see, this is one thing. The database activities you can keep RMAN, you can keep rack maintenance, or you can keep disaster recovery, you can keep, the data guard, you can keep, if you are, you must be, some of some of you guys are working as a core DB, right? So what and all activities you are working as a core DB, you can just keep it here, and you must be having that information already. Okay, so here if you see the team 24 by 7, client on demand, and ESD systems. Okay, fine, it's client related stuff. So Oracle Corp and environments, these are the operating system. So managing the single node installation. Managing Oracle application R12 and 11i with the single and multi node installation, because on demand is having so n number of customers, basically almost 300 to 400 customers are there in on demand. That is the reason we won't specifically will say some of them are single node, some of them are multi node, some of them are on rack, some of them on some other thing there, some other application they have integrated, something like that. There are so many things. That is the reason they have not specifically mentioned. If you are dedicated to one particular customer, then the standard the standard architecture would be with you. Okay, so you don't need to either it's maintaining the single node or multi node. Just one thing, if you keep, that's good enough. Okay, troubleshooting part, day-to-day custom code migrations. So it is something like working with the customized application. Okay, so Quintana tool. This is also it is one of the tool to integrate the customized applications by using some tool called Quintana. Okay, so creating the users and adding the responsibilities. It is a security environment, sysadmin activities, checking the invalid objects and all AD admin utilities. Okay, patching next with the support of OWC session. OWC session in the sense, taking the okay. Suppose customer is having some issue. I mean, customer desktop they are not able to solve it. So OW is nothing but in the Oracle. Sometimes when you raise a P1 SR or P2 request, they would be straight away connecting to your system and your systems, and they would be working on your system straight away. Okay, so that's called OWC sessions, like taking their environments, and if you are supportive, if the servers are at a customer end. So in Oracle Element, set of servers are there in the customer end and set of servers are there in the Oracle side. So Oracle side and all, we will have the complete control. And if when the server is there at the customer side, you will be taking the control of those servers and you will be rectifying the issue. And sometimes you will be taking the control of the desktop of I mean, client side, and you would be taking care of them. Oh, and you would be working with them. Okay. So patching and all. It's then again patching related. Working with the concurrent manager. Again, AD utilities. Okay. Maintaining and well W again. It's related to AD admin only. Relinking the application again. AD admin related. Patching. It's okay. Merge patch again. That's all. Like this is almost what and all we have discussed till now. Those things only repeatedly they have put. Okay. So database administration activities, rebuilding the indexes, reorganization, space management, control file management, all the contents are the course content. It looks like a course content actually. Database parameters, running SQL scripts, reorganizing space management, managing the control file configuration changes, blah blah blah. So it's almost everything they have repeatedly they have cooked in. Okay, so if you see some other resume, Srinivas Chinta, the same thing, 3 years experience resume it is. Okay. Again, it's a pretty old resume. I think they have not put R12. So in place of this, you would be adding R12 as well. So or you can say application DBA. Don't put any particular version and all, and put the generic responsibilities. Experience and good experience in the single node and multi node. ADA utilities. Patching and troubleshooting clone system administration. Here this guy kept straight away providing the support to the test and production environment. Code promotions is nothing but a customized application related to work. So customizing the XML file, okay, so through context editor, okay. So working with FNDC pass utility, changing the passwords and all. Okay, database patch and application patch, database up cloning, log files verification and all, monitoring the concurrent jobs and all. User management is nothing but sysadmin, to maintain the database application like AD patch AD utilities. Okay, the same thing they would be repeating. Okay, so this is another Charanatala is another guy. This page my brother. So experienced in Oracle applications, Unix platform, administering the Oracle application server. Okay, I mean now you don't need to keep 10 GAs, that is outdated totally, and you can keep Fusion, or you can, if you really know a bit about Fusion or BPL or WebLogic, you can keep it that. Otherwise, you can take off this. So custom application management, Oracle application database activities. Okay, so HTML DB forget. This is again something called Apex. Okay, so he knows that it's an Oracle tool only. Okay, it's a custom. It's a easy way to generate the reports and then you can connect it. Um, it is something like it's a front end tool basically. It's a HTML tool where you can connect your database to this particular tool so that you can access, you can generate the reports as per your wish. Okay, it's a particularly for reporting purpose and shell programming. So he's working in Edge Software Solutions and become OCA fine. Job profile is knowledge base. Oracle applications, what and all he knows. Application server, what and all he knows. Oracle DB, what and all he knows. Okay, so there's another resume, it's there in the table format, and this is in a different format. That's all. The project summary, so and so project, TNI, is a national investor. Okay, so activities, patching, cloning, monitoring. Okay, all AD utilities, blah blah blah. Another one, the same thing. So this is how. Okay, so Mark, please share first resume format is better for our profile. The Oracle resume is it? Yeah, yeah, I'll do that then. Okay, so a couple of things I need to mask it. Okay, so for security reason, I'll do it and I'll share it to you. I don't change any format and all. A couple of personal things I will mask it and I will share it to you. No problem. Okay, so some other resume should be there actually. These days, after going to UK, I started taking interviews and all. When I was in India, every month I used to get a couple of resumes, and people will be asking me to take interviews and all. And again, in UK, the resume format, everything is different. In US, the resume format is different. Satish Macha. Let's see his resume. 1 year, 4 months. That makes sense. This is my sister's resume. So my brother, my sister, everybody DV apps DBs. Yeah, sometime when I'm giving training, I will ask them to join, and they will join it, and slowly, forcefully, they become without their interest, they become apps DBs. But it's okay; they are enjoying now. They are in a good position. Sister took a break, but my brother, I showed you right, Charan Addal, he is working in Sachin now. He used to be with me only HP for 4 years. We worked together. Later, he moved to Sachin. This is 11 plus years, 6 years of experience. Huge in middleware. This is not abstract actually. If you do this, the same. Another reminder. 2.5 years means the same thing you would be using. Probably I need to ask. Otherwise, I'll check with my HR. Is there any latest resume she got? Podemar. Pretty well. It is 2015 resume. This is my resume. I'll show you how I have placed my stuff. Just a little career objective. Okay, and my degree, my companies, and then my certification summary and their logo. So again, as a table format, I have put my Artwell, Oracle application, what and all, the expertise of Oracle application, Oracle Fusion, OEM, DBA, RAC, Golden Gate, OS expertise. So segregated. Okay, and the professional summary is the Vodafone Germany and their responsibilities. Okay, and the DWP and their responsibilities. Bimbo Bakeries and its responsibilities. Excellent. It's another US customer, but Oracle only. So their responsibilities. Oracle on demand and its responsibilities. So team wise, there are multiple teams I have handled. So team wise, I have the first company. This is Seek Technologies. The project. That's all. That's how in the this I placed it in the table format. Probably I may need to change it again. The format. So this is how I placed. Okay, so just check it out. Like how best you can keep. Same. So I'll share it. Okay, if I find any other. I think this is a pretty old one. Community emphasis. Okay, I'll see, man. I mean, so I'll be sharing this Oracle resume. Okay, so apart from that, if I again find any more, okay, I'll share them as well. Okay, and yeah, when it comes to the interview, you know that tell me about yourself, tell me about your environment, and what are your day-to-day activities. Okay, so such a questions people will be asking. So anyway, tell me about yourself. You know better. Okay, what would I learn that? And about your environment, you need to define your environment. Okay, so like what kind of environment yours is. It's a multi-node, single node, or multi-node. Always say multi-node. Okay, so, but you can say shared Apple top. Okay, so you are having a multiple, okay, one database node and two, three, with three or four application nodes, and you can say, well, I mean, all are shared Apple top, so that everything will be covered. So, three plus one, four node architecture, you can tell. Okay, so one database node and one application node. You can say if you are really interested, if you know about the Oracle, I mean, rack and all, you can, yeah, you can say my database is rack enabled, and probably you may need to give that information as well. Okay, so so you need to start from there. Okay, so basically ours is a four node architecture, and the one node contains the database, and the other node, the other three nodes are application, and they are shared Apple top. They are with shared Apple top. Okay, so something like we have three set of systems are there. One is a dev and dev test pre-prod prod. Okay, you can write it down. Okay, dev. So pre-prod and prod, the same architecture. Okay, if it is a four node architecture, then this is also will be four node architecture. Okay, and this is a five this is a 10 GB RAM, and this is also will be 10 GB RAM. So pre-prod, always one pre-prod in every environment, one pre-prod will be there, which will be the exactly replica of production, including the size, operating system wise, okay, node wise, OS wise, everything should be same. Pre-prod will be okay. So test environment, I can minimize it to the two node architecture. Okay, this is also I can minimize it to the two node architecture. Okay, so something like if I see my case, mine is 3 3 6 plus 2 8 node architecture application, okay, and a single database, but that's the operating system cluster which is maintained by data operating system people, okay. So two node database, but that's not a rack, it's the operating system cluster, okay. But when it comes to the production and the pre-prod, it's three sets, 3 fours, 12 plus 2, 12 plus 2, 14. 14 node application, 14 application nodes, and two database nodes. Okay, again, there's a Solaris cluster, database nodes, and everything is there in Solaris only, my total environment. Okay, so 12 plus 2, 14, flow 14 plus 2, 16 node architecture mine is. Okay, and pre-prod is also 16 node architecture. Okay, but my test environments and all, they are three node architectures, one database and two application nodes, test and dev environments. Something like that you segregate it. You just whatever architecture you keep comfort based on your, I mean, according to your comfort, that's fine. But one, you say one production environment is there and another one is the pre-prod environment is there, exactly replica, including the data. We frequently update the data as well. Okay, so something like that, and then test environment and dev environment. So dev environment, usually we will be giving to the development people test environment for ourselves. Like we will be testing the issues and all. Okay, and whenever any issue comes up, we'll take the back, we'll take the clone of the fresh clone we will be doing, and then we will performing the testing and all. We'll applying the patches to apply the patch to perform any of the activity, database activities or application activity, whatever. This one you will hold it as a database administrator. You will hold it. This one we will be giving to the development people. Okay, probably you may need to give the development, all the passwords also you can give to the, to the development machines and who will give the entire app's password, everything, sysadmin, everything we will give. Okay, but when it comes to the test, okay, test one, test two, test three will be there, and we'll be doing on the test one, and if that is satisfied, we'll straight away go to the pre-prod, and then we'll go to the production. And if it is not, like again, we will be doing on test two, we'll be say performing the same activity and test two, and then we will be going. So something like, you can say, okay, we have three test environments and two test environments, one development environment, and one pre-prod environment and production. Okay, so production, pre-prod, two test environments on development. Totally one, two, totally five nodes, five environments are there. Okay, five instances are there in my environment. One is the production, and another one is a pre-prod, and another two are a test environment, one dev environment. Something like that you can tell. Okay, so it depends on the requirement. We would be doing the cloning basically. Okay, suppose in production some issue has come up and they raised the service request. Okay, internally everybody will be maintaining their own ticketing system, so they raised one ticket. Okay, so that is there in the production only. That's you are not able to reproduce it in the pre-prod, or they are not able to reproduce in the test environment or in the dev environment. Nowhere you are able to reproduce. Only in the production you are able to see that error. So immediately, the next minute, what you have to do is you have to clone pre-prod, you have to clone test, and they want don't need to worry, and it need not to be in sync actually. So you have to clone both the environments. You have to make sure that the issue is reproducing in your non-production environment. Then only whatever fix you are applying, that will be going to that will be applying on the test environment, and then only you will be coming to know whether that fix is feasible for this particular issue or not. And then you will be deciding, okay, let's go to the pre-prod and then go to the production. Otherwise, okay, let's say something is not repeating in the production environment, and you applied the fix, and how do you know whether the particular fix is really the right fix or not? And how do you make sure that after spending hell number of hours and a number of hours of downtime on the production, later if you come to know that doesn't do anything, it will be a bit hard, right? Again, you need to do the troubleshooting. Again, you need to take the downtime. Again, you need to apply some other patch. So we shouldn't take such a kind of risk and all with production environment and all. So if that is not repeating, you have to keep trying. You have to do whatever you want. You have to do, and the test environment should. I mean, the whatever issue you are facing on the production environment should be reproduced in the non-production environment at any cost. Otherwise, that is not an issue. The production environment is something, I mean, so you have to give some justification, and you have to lock that issue like that. So it will be cloning. Okay, so you see, basically, if you clone it, definitely it will come, right? Everything you are taking here and you are keeping it here and you are keeping it here as well. Obviously, you would be getting right. Maybe some because of the data. Mostly such a kind of issues and all because of the data only. So this data will be pretty old, and this data will be pretty old, and this will be the up to date. So because of the data, usually you would be getting such issues. Otherwise, otherwise the functional wise, the file system wise, you won't be seeing much difference. So clone it and perform the activity. I mean, whatever you troubleshoot it and go to the meta link and find out any solution. If you want to test the solution, you'll be testing. Or else, normally what I'll be doing is, whenever I come across an issue, I mean, I'll be even if I find any of the proper solution, I'll take that solution, put it in the service request. Again, take the confirmation from the Oracle people. This is the error I got. I have did some research on Metalink. This is the meta note I have got. This is my architecture. So let me know whether this particular solution is feasible for this particular issue on this particular architecture. Yes or no? Get the confirmation from. Maybe it will take 1 or 2 days. Yes, you have to wait because by any chance if you screwed up to rebuild the machine, it takes at least 1 week. So instead of doing that, you can wait for 1 week. See, the main difference between the core DBA and apps DBA is patience. Okay, core DBA will be doing everything on fly. We'll take it. Okay, so the many things will be in our control completely. Okay, because you installed it, you know very well from the scratch you're doing, and database is a very limited file system, and the Vora errors and all very stabilized. Database it is and all, and everywhere you will find the solution. I mean, or the help and all you will be getting everywhere. So on the fly, we won't be verifying. Okay, so okay, let's apply this particular solution. If it is working, otherwise nothing will happen. But that's not the case in the Oracle application. Okay, so by any chance, if anything goes wrong, you to rebuild the machine itself, it takes a hell lot of time. So there, building the Oracle home doesn't. I mean, it's not a big deal to be honest. And if anything goes wrong, you will be having a flashback recovery. You will be having a level one backup, level two backup, weekly backup, full backup. So many things will be there for your database. So within no time, you will recover it if anything goes wrong. And if the binaries are having any issue, within no time, you will install the Oracle home. Oracle home, how long it will take? Maximum 1 hour. It will take and how long it will take to restore to from one particular control file or something from the admin. Within no time we can do, but that's not the case in the application side. Okay, so to rebuild the Oracle e-business suite, okay, it will take at least 1 week time. Okay, if you are rigorously working 3 to 4 days, and again after you do any of the clone, again you need to hand over to the testing team and then development team, and they have to sign it off, and then it will be going to the actual work. So mindset you need to change first. Okay, on the fly nothing will happen, and steady, slow and steady. So whatever it is, whatever solution you are applying, okay, whatever solution you got, that need to be confirmed from the Oracle side, so that if anything goes wrong, that's right away you can go back to them and saying that as per your advice, I have applied so and so patch, or I have applied so and so action plan, and it's screwed more. Do me something, well, they will come back with a different action plan, and they will say secure you. So by seeing the Google, don't do anything. Okay, for core DBA, yes, we will totally depend on Google only, and we will be taking someone's experience, and we will be using the what errors are same right everywhere, but it's not the case in the Oracle applications. Okay, you will be getting a different errors in the different environments. Maybe likewise issues you might get, but no, normally you would be getting a totally different environment. So environment to environment, many things will change in e-business suite. The database side, you won't see the much difference between the environment to environment. But e-business suite side, yes, you will be seeing. So that is the reason you don't trust on blogs. You don't trust on Oracle. Google, particularly for e-business suite. I'm saying you have to trust the meta link. Okay, it's support.oracle.com. So sometimes even though you get the right hit, it's safe to sometimes if you feel like if you are really not comfortable, raise a service request, tell the customer, tell the management. So I'm going to get the confirmation. Okay, without confirmation, I don't want to take the risk. Something like that, you can convey them. They will wait and they'll come back. So if it is really, really, really urgent, something need to be happen within fly, raise a service request with a high priority. Oracle will respond in the same way. You're getting me right. You'll understand. Probably it will take just a month, maximum a month. It will take once you enter into any of the environment. Within 1 month, you'll be understanding the entire flow in that particular company. How people will be taking care. Who is the first point of contact for any activity? Second point, escalation point of contact. So these and all things you need to gather basically. How frequently would be doing the cloning? What are the servers and where those servers are exist? If anything goes wrong with the operating system, say who is the first point of contact, where the team is sitting, and application team where it is sitting, functional team where it is sitting, who are the people, who are the developers, who are the managers, and the escalation point is what. So these are the things you need to understand. Executing the tasks and applying the patch, executing the task, running the auto AD admin utility, running the auto config. These and all are just, it's a matter of commands. That's all. So first you try to understand these things and all, and then you start working on. Anyway, definitely there won't be no matter how many years of experience you got. So one or two, at least 1 to 2 months, they won't be giving the production machines right away. They will be giving the non-production instances first, and they will make you understand the complete architecture, and then. So sometimes if you are really good in shell programming, you can do some automation part. Okay, so something like changing the profiles and all. Okay, instead of changing profile one by one, put it everything in the shell program and execute it. Okay, changing the what you call passwords, you can do it. It's a defense. I mean, if you go to the environment, you will be understanding. So maximum you try to, if people are doing any of the tasks repeatedly manually, then it's better. It is safe to do the safe to convert that one as a shell program. So there's an added advantage to be definitely added advantage. Shell programming for Oracle DBS and all, definitely added advantage. Okay, so for everything we got Google. Google is the best one. For everything you would be getting one sample in Google. So straight away take that sample and just change it as per your requirement. For example, let's say concurrent program you executed. Okay, you are executing from the front end. Let's say there is a requirement you need to execute from the back end. Okay, so I just recently shared it to one of my friend. Yeah, it successfully. Yeah, it executed successfully. So look this. I got it from Google only. This one. I customized it as per my friend requirement. So something like this. This one I didn't write from end to end. I've just taken this from Google and I have replaced it. I have asked him what is his responsibility. This is the one. Okay, what is his username? Hari Adanapudi. Okay, this is his username. Okay, so what is the application? It's a customized application. It's something like AP, ARP, APK, something like that. So there's the customized application, the concurrent the concurrent program executable name, so on so description, so on so. Okay, when you need to execute, when you want to execute that particular concurrent program, so on so time. Okay, So sub request, nothing is there. It's independent request. Okay, argument. Is there any parameter you need to pass? Okay, otherwise leave it. So commit it. If everything goes wrong, is the request is zero, is equal to zero, then it's an issue. Else concurrent manager submitted successfully. So for that. This is the one of the shell program. Like you can put it everything in a .sh file, and whenever you want, you can. One more thing you can do. Okay, so you can put as a parameter. This one is ampersand one, ampersand two, ampersand three, something like that. So execute the shell program. Provide at the time of execution itself provided. You can make it as a generic. This one is it will execute only one concurrent program. You can make it as a generic and put the parameter here and declare the parameters here. Whenever you are executing that, it will prompt for the parameter, and if you give the application and if you give the program name as a parameter, it will go. You can make it as a generic file. So it's all like I mean, we don't need to break our head, to be honest. Everything is there in Google, and just fetch that information and change it as per your requirement. That's all. And, we can't say this one in interview. I'll fetch it from Google and blah blah blah. You need to at least to pass through the interview. You need to talk something about the shell programming. So something like Oracle DBA shell programming. If you say in the Google, you would find something. Okay, so you try to explain that stuff. Definitely, you will get something. Top DBA shell programs. Look, check the instance availability, check the listener availability. Okay, so if you do this particular program, it's simple. It's a database only, right? And happily you can take this one and you can put it in your environment and you can do. Just write it down. Okay, so you can tell them in your environment. So I don't have any olden days. The OEM is very expensive. Okay, that time, very very expensive. So we would be keeping, okay, whether Apache is up and running or not, concurrent server is up and running or not, farm server is up and running or not. Okay. So I mean web server is up and running or not, application listener is up and running or not, database is up and running or not, something like that. For every component I used to write a program. Okay. So and I'll put all these things in what you call scheduling. I'll schedule it in the what you call what is that name called in the scheduling the programs in cron tab? Yes, you'd be, yeah, cron job. I used to keep it in the cron job. Okay, so that's it. Every 10 minutes it would be verifying my Apache server is up and running or not, farm server is up and running or not, something like that. And and if anything goes wrong, that will send a mail to the my DL list. Okay, in my group. So that's one way of monitoring your application. But these days, they are coming up with the different packages and all, and many of the guys are depending on the OEM. Okay, they are buying OEM, they're configuring the OEM, and simply OEM will be taking care, and OEM will be sending the alerts and all. That's how you would be monitoring them. So that's how it will be. There are so many scripts are there. Okay. So any doubts on real time? So do one thing, okay? So take your time, take a couple of days, okay? For 2 3 days time. Go through your course, maybe videos or my classes or the documentation, whatever. Okay, you just go through it, and again we'll have one more class to whatever doubts you got, to clear them off. So from my side, what is pending? The sysadmin related practice guide and something related to the sysadmin documentation. These two are pending from my end. Okay, so I'll sort out them and I'll send it across by in a day or so. Okay. So I'll see you. We'll be discussing in the next class, and I'll just ping me on WhatsApp. We'll discuss it and we'll make it out. Sure. Okay. So all the best, guys, and do let me know once you got FDBA opportunity, and I'll see like by any chance if I see any requirement in once you are done with your resume, you do share it to me as well. Okay. So by any chance, any of the requirement in my company, and I'll just forward it to my manager. So maybe it might work. Who knows? Okay, first you once you are done with your resume, just share it to me. I'll review it quickly and I'll do necessary changes. Okay, if anything is required. So and then I mean before you jump into the market, okay, show me your resume once. I'll just review it. Okay, I'll give you some suggestions if anything is required. So yeah, you know very well you're already working for people and you know how to make the resume and that. So I'll see if any terminology or if anything need to be added, particular application side. So probably I would advise you and we'll see. Okay. Okay, guys. Have a nice day and all the best. And do let me know when can we catch up.